Well, the Quintilian Institute's lab coats have done it again. This time, they've rediscovered the word metonymy. As we've seen before, some words about words can be very specific. However, others can be rather broad, and the word metonymy describes a large category of other words. At its most basic, metonymy is a kind of figurative language that involves replacing a word with another word or concept that is closely related to it. And I suppose if that definition by itself makes sense to you, then you probably don't need to keep watching this video. For the rest of us regular people, though, a little bit more explanation may be necessary. Luckily, that's what the Quintilian Institute is all about. Let's imagine that we have a friend named Howard, and let's put his name at the center of our metonymic universe. Now, orbiting Howard are a lot of words and concepts that are part of what we know about him. They could be physical attributes, character traits, notable possessions, habits, and more. So, we know he has small eyes. He regularly attends lectures on fossils. He has a treasured pencil case. He's a big fan of jazz, and he's been known to get into boxing matches with kangaroos. Any one of these concepts orbiting around the universe of Howard could be used as a metonym for Howard. Maybe you're accusing him of being dishonest, so you say lies, lies from tiny eyes. In this case, you're using a part of Howard, his tiny eyes, as a replacement for his name. Or maybe you see him walking across the street and you say, there goes the bane of kangaroos. It might be a sarcastic thing to say, but it's using a concept from the universe of Howard to refer to Howard. And maybe, after he's told you a long story about his treasured childhood pencil case, you greet him from then on as Mr. Pencil Case. Again, something from the universe of Howard is being used as a substitute for his name. So that's the key of metonymy. As long as you're substituting a word or concept in the same orbit as the original term, you're dealing with metonymy. If you substitute something from a different universe though, like if you said Howard had a crab's eyes, then you're dealing with metaphor. Metonymy works by using concepts in the same universe. Metaphor works by making comparisons to something in a different conceptual universe. Of course, metonymy doesn't have to be used to disparage fictional individuals, and ideally you wouldn't be using it to disparage anyone at all. But however you use it, there are many different kinds of metonymy. You could substitute the stuff that something is made out of. So for example, you may tell the epic tale of a monster who was felled by a hero's legendary steel, but of course the hero didn't just use a bar of steel, it was a sword made of steel. Or you could substitute something's container. So imagine you're driving past a roadside lemonade stand when you stop and ask the precocious entrepreneur for a glass. Of course, you'd be disappointed if she then handed you an empty glass, because that's not actually what you were asking for. You were asking for lemonade by using the word glass, which is a word within the conceptual universe of lemonade. You could swap in the part of something to represent the whole. This is a type of metonymy known as synecdoche, like when you say that your favorite part of a song is played by the strings rather than the violins and violas, or when you nickname your burly enforcer the Fist. It's also very common to hear the name of an important city or location used as a metonym for an organization that is based in that place. For example, somebody may use the word Berlin to refer to the government of Germany, or the word Hollywood to refer to the film industry. Or perhaps you substitute a cause for an effect, or an effect for a cause. For example, after a lovely ceremony, you may hear a couple of tired parents complaining that the wedding was an ordeal. Now in this case, they don't mean that the actual wedding was a problem, but they're using that term as a stand-in for the whole process of planning, organizing, and executing a wedding. The process was an ordeal, and the term the wedding is just a convenient label that's floating around in the same conceptual universe, and that's metonymy hard at work. Of course, metonymy is such a large category of figurative language that there's hardly a limit to the number of variations or effects that metonymy can have in your writing, and that's something that can give you a lot of flexibility. Just know that as long as you're substituting words or concepts in the same universe as the original idea, you're working with metonymy. Well, it looks like the whole Quintilian Institute staff is getting together for ice cream, and I'd hate to miss that. But before I go, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what we discussed here today, click that thumbs up button as a metonymic indication of your approval, and I'll be back again with more words about words real soon. Now, what kind of ice cream does everyone want?